'cause you're powerful when your name is called.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reclaiming My Life show. Today, I am sitting here with the beautiful Sandra Cox. Welcome, beautiful lady.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Look, no wonder, y'all, the book is called Beautiful Ashes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Look, Miss Sandra, talk to us about your book, Beautiful Ashes.
Yes, ma'am. So my book deals with different things in my life that I went through. I went through molestation by a family member. I went through divorce, sis. Amen. And I dealt with identity crisis, and I also talk about betrayal that I experienced growing up in church.
Okay. Look, so let's tackle one at a time then. Look, let's go through it. Take us on your journey if you would. And then we can talk about, it'll give our viewers an opportunity to see the things, the challenges and the trauma that you experienced in your life,
Absolutely.
how you overcame and reclaimed your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the main things that I dealt with, first of all, started out as rejection, right? I grew up with it, and then I was molested by a family member, and I grew up with that a lot. People don't understand that when you've been molested by someone that you love, someone that you're very close to, the effects that it have on you, and if you don't actually get healed and delivered from it, it can play into your relationships. And so that molestation played a lot in how I chose my decisions, being married and divorced, you know what I'm saying? It played a major part in that. A lot of that came as me looking for love in all the wrong places, because I learned love based on that part of my life that happened with me.
Yes. Wow. You're absolutely right. Because, again, y'all, look, this is why I do what I do with reclaiming my life. Because I, too, experienced molestation from a family member. It was my uncle, and although we get healed, there will always be triggers, And I tell my husband even today, because my uncle, he had that salt and pepper beard, and my husband has salt and pepper beard. Every blue moon is a trigger, So let me ask you, when you talk about identity crises, then how did that come about?
It caused me not to really know who I am, not to be able to love who I am, receive who I am, the differences, the good, the bad, and the ugly about, different parts of my life. It also caused me to try to hide some things about me that somebody may have said, well, I don't like that about you. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And so I began to digress a lot. And so that played a lot into me, my age, whatever. I'm almost 50 years old. And just recently, I have to say that I really had to go to God and break that spirit, because God began to reveal to me that how much those things played into my life as an adult woman, in my marriages, in my relationships with family members, with friends, building relationships. It played a major part in it. So I had to learn who I am.
Yes.
All my life I've been somebody's mom.
Come on.
I have 4 beautiful children. I'm a grandmother of 3 grandboys. And so I had to learn who Sandra really is outside of any title that anybody gave me. And when I tell you, oh my God, that right there, it opened my eyes, because God showed me who I am, and that he loved me, and he wanted me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he loved every part of me. And I began to receive all of that. I began to stay with that and work on that and let God begin to develop those things in my life. And I don't care who don't like me. Because right now I'm standing in confidence.
Yes.
I'm standing in peace, and I'm standing in boldness.
Yes, I love that. And I love that you said, that you really don't care who likes you. Because you know what? A lot of times, we stay muted because we are afraid. We don't want to disrupt, our family and relationships, but we're suffering. We're suffering in silence, and we don't deserve that. We deserve to live a life free. And like you said, in confidence and be able to walk, and say, I'm okay. I'm restored. I'm
Yes.
healed. So, what do your family relationship look like now? Because it was a family member.
Well, what happened was I learned to walk in forgiveness. And I know for us, many, it may not be the case, but it took me a minute to walk in forgiveness. And sometimes I am triggered by certain things, but I've learned to set some good, healthy boundaries. And that's something I never knew how to do. I felt like it was toxic because growing up in church or what you were taught just to let everybody in. You're supposed to forgive people and keep moving. But I had to learn that I have to set healthy boundaries in order for me to be at peace. And still to this day, I love the person, I forgive the person, but I also have my boundaries. I don't allow that person to make me feel like it was my fault, that I was the problem, or that I did something to bring this on. And for a while, it was trying to be that. It was trying to convince me that it's my fault.
Right.
And I had to just shake that thing off and say, no, I didn't. I was a child. Tell
That's
me,
right.
please, make it make sense. So I learned, don't carry that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't carry it. It wasn't mine to carry.
It wasn't
So
yours,
even in
yes.
some relationships, I did end up. It put a strain on some relationships in my family, and I knew that it would. My children. When the book came out, they didn't know a whole lot about it because they knew the person, but I took it upon myself. My children were older then, and I shared with them who it was, and I explained to them, if you remember, there were certain things I didn't allow you guys to do, and that was why. But I only shared it with them when I felt like they were mature enough to handle it, and then because the rest of the world was about to get it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on. The rest of the world was about to get it.
Yes.
Yes, I love that. Look, so you have a ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
Cover Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us about it.
Well, it's no longer Covered Girl.
Uh-oh.
It has transitioned into the Purposed Woman.
Okay.
And that is something that God began to deal with me about coming into this year. Covered Girl was from a place of brokenness. It was from a place of falling and many, 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 many failures. And I do have to talk about this. I've been through marriage and I've been through divorce, but I allowed God to heal me. And so when God sent me my husband, I didn't go looking for him. God sent me my husband, right?
He found his good
Oh,
thing.
yes, he did. Come on, somebody. And what ended up happening was God told me that I would get married. Right when I was okay in my singleness, God said, you're going to get married. And I said, now, Lord, seriously, please don't play with me in this season. And so, but he told me to prepare myself. So I began to prepare myself for marriage. I had a dream of what he would. I didn't see his face. I knew how tall he would be. I knew he would be a dark-skinned man. So I waited, and I waited on God until he presented that person for me. And so what Purpose Woman comes in now is that I'm no longer broken. I'm working through some stuff still, amen.
Yes.
But I'm not fractured, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm not fractured. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. And God used my husband, to cover me in those areas where I was so strong in and walled up. He allowed my husband to love me with the love that I have never been. Oh God,
You said
I have
that thing,
never
baby.
been loved with. You know what I'm saying? And so when I see my husband, it's beautiful ashes, but now I can say from ashes to glory, right? Because he loves me with the love of God, and he allows me to be soft.
Yes.
I don't have to be independent all the time.
I love
I
these
can just be
expressions you're
soft.
giving
Ooh,
with it.
Yes.
Now you mean that thing.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So with this ministry, I mean, do you put focus on young women, women?
I put it on young ladies and women as well, because even some women, as women, like I did, we grow up with the little girl that's hurt on the inside of us. And I remember I was going through a situation probably about 2 years ago, and a friend of mine said, you need to speak back to that little girl that was broken. And so that's what I began to do. I began to pour into that little girl affirmations of who she is and who God called her to be. And I believe me going back in time, like in my mind,
Yeah.
and speaking into that person, that little girl, it caused me to transform into the purpose woman
Yes.
that I am today.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Woo.
Yes,
Come
ma'am.
on with the ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So I focus on young women, but I also focus on older women and creating a safe space.
Okay.
Because sometimes we don't have safe spaces.
We don't.
But creating a safe space where women can talk about it and they can let their hair down and they can share their story, but also build them up and encourage them and push them into purpose. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Come on now. Woo! I love that. I love it. So in doing so, I mean, do you have events where you're, any conferences or anything like that, or you have something coming up that you would
Yes,
like to
ma'am.
invite us to?
Yes, ma'am. I've been doing conferences for the past 10 years, and they've evolved over the years. But this one, now that we transitioned to the Purpose Woman, we're getting ready to do one in March, March the 7th. And this one going to be in South Carolina, right? And now if you guys want to come on now to South Carolina. It's going to be in North Augusta, I'm sorry, Beach Island, South Carolina. And it's called Taking It Back.
Ooh,
And the theme is all
come on.
authority. So knowing who we are as women, we have authority to take some things back.
Yes,
You know what
yes,
I'm saying? To
yes.
shut the enemy down,
Yes.
to keep him from talking to us. We dismantle it all.
Yes, I
Jason.
love that, because let me tell you, when I started reclaiming,
Ooh.
I was listening to Ty Tribb's I Want It All Back. And when I
Yes.
say I was playing that thing, I want everything the devil
Yes.
stole. I want it all back. So I
Yes.
love that.
Thank
So
you.
again, it's going to be taking place where?
March the 7th, in Beach Island, South Carolina. That morning we have 2 speakers. They are very, very powerful women. And then that evening it'll be myself ministering to the women. Amen. Just giving them a vision of what God is saying. And one of the things God was telling me is have everybody come in all white, because this is a recalibration. This is a resetting. This is a repurposing. This is us taking our lives back.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it, y'all. This is us reclaiming.
Yes.
Let us know, how can our viewers connect with you?
Okay, I am on Facebook and my name is Sandra Cox. I'm on TikTok. It is Mrs. Cox. I am on Instagram. It is I am Sandra 17. And then we also have a Purpose Woman website. That's how you can contact me.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much for stopping by the Reclaiming My Life
Yes,
show.
ma'am. Thank you for
Look,
having me.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all, get her book, Beautiful Ashes,
Yes.
by this beautiful woman right here. That's Beautiful Ashes. Look, y'all don't go nowhere. We're coming right back with more of Reclaiming My Life. Thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
My mother is one of the strongest people I know. It wasn't necessarily because she was in love, but really again, she was looking for a way to escape the abuse. We unfortunately became homeless.
The doctor said we both almost died.
So I suffered. I suffered in silence.
From there on, she became my momager. We started traveling all over the world.
And nearly 8 years later, I'm sitting here as my mom's business partner.
Then we started something called Quartet Unstoppable.
If she says she's gonna do it, she does it. It seems like everything you touch turns to gold.
Everybody that was raised around her is doing good in life.
I began to really admire and respect her.
I was instantly motivated. I'm talking about a full-blown production, lights, camera, action. I'm so thankful that Claudia and I crossed paths. Claudia always go over and beyond.
But for someone who's been hurt so much, she only wants to help you.
My mom always finds a way to count everything joy.
All right, y'all, we are back, and I am sitting here now, let me tell you, y'all, with my good friend. I'm talking about over 30 plus years of friendship. Look, marriage and family therapist, certified Christian life coach, and relationship coach. None other than Pastor Sylvia Parron.
Yes.
Look, and since she been married, I had never got that last name right. And I said,
It's okay. It's okay. It's Parron. Yeah.
Pastor
See?
Sylvia.
And I knew that it was wrong, right?
But you all right. You ain't the only one, so you good.
No, I gotta get it right though. Parron, Sylvia Parron.
That's all right.
Look, y'all, I'm excited to have my friend here. She came all the way from Tennessee today.
yes.
Yes, bless. That's because she loves me.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Look, and I failed to mention you're also an author.
I am.
Yes, several times.
Yes.
Yes, bestseller.
Yes.
Come on, guy.
That's right. That's right. And I had a recent workbook that I put out.
Okay.
Since I started doing the relationship, I'm really into family.
Yes.
That is my call. That is my mental. I'm learning that. So the book that I put out is When the Vow Breaks,
Yes.
Surviving Infidelity.
Ooh.
And it's actually a workbook. So it's a book that lets you go through it. You get a chance to feel the pain. You get some guided prompts, some things to think about. And it's available on Amazon as well.
All right, now
Yeah.
let them know, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let
Because
them know.
let me tell you, infidelity is the most betraying. Like, there's no deeper betrayal
Right.
than having someone to cheat on you.
Yes,
And
God.
so when I was writing that, it took me a long time because there's a book that goes with it. But the book I'm still kind of, working on a little bit because it took a lot to write that.
Yes.
I've seen my family go through it. I've watched my sisters go through it. And that is a very, very hard topic to talk about when you talk about infidelity.
Yes, it
So,
really is.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times, I'm not going to say a lot of times, but even if, a spouse forgives, there's going to always be triggers,
Yes.
in doubt,
Yes.
whether or not they can trust again.
That's right.
And
And like you said earlier, like I heard you say, the triggers. It's certain things that may do to trigger you. You remember, oh, I remember when he did. And the feeling comes back until you begin to heal and start reclaiming your life,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it was really hard to write that book after watching some people that I love go through that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You have your own story. Of course, not of infidelity,
Right.
But you have your own story, testimony, past childhood trauma,
Yeah.
and how you had to reclaim. And I wanted you to share with our viewers today because as you sit here today now as a marriage and family therapist, come on,
Yes.
yes. So talk to us and tell us a little bit about, the trauma that you experienced and how you reclaimed to be this woman,
Yes.
who is now helping others reclaim their lives.
Yes. So one of the most impactful traumas that I had in my life was losing my virginity, and this is in one of my books, so it's no secret. I lost my virginity to rape. And so at that particular time, I thought that I didn't have a voice. I thought that I could never tell a man or a person no. I just was all mentally exhausted from that one situation, right? And so that situation did kind of take over my life, and it kind of put my life on a trajectory to where I was going to be always feeling unsafe and felt like when I said no, I was going to put myself in a bad situation. So mentally, it really taught my mind to just say yeah and you won't get in trouble. Girl, just say yeah, you'll stay safe. And I did that for, I don't want to give my age, but for a long time. For a long time, I did that. And so how I came back from that was really realizing that my mind was not in a good place. To be honest, I've had relationships that came from that place of being afraid to say no, being afraid to, if I say no, they're going to hurt me anyway, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it really took a toll on my mentality and my mental place, right? Because it was hard to always, feel like you're going to be unsafe if you choose no. And no is a choice, right?
Right, no, it's a choice.
But I felt like I lost my choice from that situation.
Wow. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who can relate, say, yeah, I've been there, and that's why, we see people who are in relationships, not even relationships, but just, some who are just so willing to just freely give themselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's survival mode.
Yes.
For
exactly
their
right.
mentality, for their mental health.
Yes.
It's survival mode.
Yes.
I'm going to just do it because this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
This is what is expected of me.
Right.
But how did you, start to reclaim your life, to change your mindset?
So, to be honest, well, I've been in human services for almost 25 years.
Yes.
And when I started looking at the patterns in other people's lives, I had to measure against my own. Like, well, when I first learned about codependency, I had a list of things, right? And I was like, wait a minute, I'm over half of these things. So that's when I became aware of my mental health. And so once I became aware of it, then that's when I began to address it. You can't address something that you're not aware of.
Come on.
You can't address something that you're willing to keep denying and act like
Yes.
it didn't happen,
Right.
right? So once I became aware of it, I began to address it. And even today, I'm still addressing things that have just taken me down a path that I didn't have to go down.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. We can't heal if we don't acknowledge it.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love it.
Exactly.
What inspired Restored to Live? Tell us about Restored to Live and what inspired it.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I am so glad you asked. So, I had a sector in my life where I lived out in California, and I was living in Paris, California at the time. And when I heard the message from God, He said, "Church without walls." I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't know that He was going to give me Restored to Live as a mantle for my life at the time. But when He gave me that, I was like, wow. Then later Restored to Live came. But Restored to Live was given to me strictly by God. And it was basically from my future, not where I was.
Ooh, Jesus.
It was from a place I was going to,
Yes.
not where I was. Because He said Restored to Live. And I was like, okay. But now I'm
Come on.
restored to live. Back then, I was being restoring. He was
Come on,
restoring
Pastor.
me. But now, I'm restored to live. And so He gave me that for a future place that I had no idea of where it was going to really take me and what it was going to do. So that's
Woo.
restored to live.
Come on. You was ready to preach what?
I want to preach. Y'all want to hear it?
I love it, girl. I
Oh.
love it. So look, what coaching services do you offer?
And from the Restored to Live branch, I am now, like you said, a certified Christian life coach and a relationship coach. So I offer family. Restored to Live now has, kind of went over to all things family. And so Restored to Live, in my coaching business, I offer family services. Is going from chaos to covering. When you have a chaotic family, you come to me because I can help you get your family in line. Okay. In line
Look,
with
y'all
God.
hear how she talk, right? You already know.
With God.
Okay.
And then I have single parents. I do a coaching for single parents, and it's called Grace to Lead. It gives them the tools that they need to lead their home with grace. Because I've been a single parent. I know, child. These children have you, girl. These children have your house so old. You'll be all over the place. So now I'm teaching them how to lead with grace, right? And then I have one for co-parenting. And it said 2 homes, 1 mission.
Yes.
And the mission is the child.
Yes.
So we're going to help those co-parents learn how to be in alignment with each other and with God to raise this kid. It's their
Yes.
child, right? So those are the ones. And I have a subscription to Coffee and Chats.
Yes.
So
yes.
Coffee and Chats, we talk about all things family, everything that could possibly impact your family. We talk about those. And with that subscription, you can have monthly, time with me in your Coffee and Chats.
Yes, I love it. You know what? You got so much going on. I tell you to make sure that you covering everybody.
Yes,
You're
yes.
gonna get everybody right.
Yes, because
Yes.
one thing we realize is that everybody's not married, but everybody has a family.
Yes.
Everybody has a family.
Yes. Yes.
And
I'ma
I don't know
tell
if they
you.
realize it.
I'm gonna tell you what I love. 2 homes, 1 mission.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, a child, is the one who is suffering
Yeah.
when there are 2 homes. So when parents can truly get on one accord and say, hey, we have 2 homes, but this is the mission.
That's right.
And come together and stop acting crazy.
That's right.
So I love that.
That's right.
Yeah. So look, what advice or just what can you give us today, Pastor Sylvia? For those out there who are struggling and trying to reclaim their lives through all kinds of challenges, whether it's financial, whether it's relationships, whether it's their health. People are going through so much in life. What can you leave with us today?
So, a part of Restored to Live is nothing wasted. Nothing wasted. Everything you've gone through in life is for the moment you are in now or for where you're about to go. So if I had to leave you with one thing, I would say challenges come to really make us strong. They build our muscles of faith, prayer, like all those things that we need in order to reclaim our life. Like we can't reclaim our life if we just sitting here looking at ourselves in the walls, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
gotta work.
Yes.
Reclaim is a verb. That means you gotta do something.
Come on.
You gotta put some action into that thing and do something in order to
Yes.
reclaim your life.
Uh-huh.
So if I had to leave them with one thing, I would say no matter what your challenge is, you are going to reclaim your life as soon as you make yourself aware that this is the issue, address the issue, and start walking forward in God.
Yes. So look, y'all got to acknowledge, and then you got to
Yeah.
put in some work.
Yeah,
You know, you have to make a decision.
That's right.
That I want to reclaim my life.
That's right.
Yes. So look, come on, marriage and family therapists. Look, and let the people know, because look, you gave them a lot today. You gave them a lot. Let them know how they can connect with you.
So I am Pastor Sylvia, and I do. I'm on Facebook at Sylvia Parron. I am on Paper Bell for my coaching services at Paper Bell, Sylvia Parron, and I have a QR code too that she's going to put up for you guys. So just hit your little phone like that, right? All right. And I'm also on Instagram at SG Parron. I think I'm on TikTok too. I think I am. I am as Coach Sylvia.
Look, if y'all want to get your life right, if you want to laugh a little bit, if you want her to pray, when I tell you, look, she does all the things. This is why I love her so much, because I don't care how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, she gonna get me right. So if y'all want that in your life, contact Sylvia Parron. Yes. Look, I got it. Look, but until next time, remember, y'all, no matter what you're going through, look, there are people praying for you. A lot of times we feel like nobody is praying for us, and some people actually have nobody to pray for them. So I try to cover everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're watching today, just know that I love you, and that you can and you will reclaim your life.